Well, welcome back. Coming up on 740, and next week Indiana lawmakers will meet for a special legislative session where it is expected they will talk about abortion after the Supreme Court's overturn of Roe v. Wade. They could soon pass new limits in the Hoosier State. So joining me now is IU law professor Steve Sanders to talk about this process and what it could mean going forward. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
Well, Indiana Republicans have said they plan to take action. So how quickly could something happen?
You know, there is nothing in Indiana law or the Constitution that provides any particular answer, the waiting period or anything like that. So I believe that the legislature could make a law effective pretty much immediately upon the governor's signature. Laws typically take effect on July 1st, but they're subject to change if the bill specifies something different than that.
Professor, what do you think could happen to women who plan to travel to get an abortion?
You know, I think that's going to be the next big battleground. Right now, there's no legal question that a woman has the right to go to another state to seek any medical procedure that she wants to seek. I think we will see at least some states attempting to essentially make it a crime, the way some states made it a crime in the 1950s and 60s to travel out of state to get an interracial marriage. I think some states will say it's a crime to travel out of state to obtain a medical procedure that is illegal to be performed or to receive in your home state. I think those will be vulnerable constitutionally. Justice Brett Kavanaugh, in his opinion, specifically said there is a right to travel and states would not be able to interfere with that. But I don't think that's any guarantee that states won't try.
Some say the Supreme Court's decision to overturn a constitutional right for women could go beyond abortion. So what other precedents could be changed, do you think?
When you look at the array of cases the court has decided related to personal privacy, they include not only abortion, but the right to use and receive contraceptives, the right to marry the person of your choice, the right to be free in private spaces to engage in sexual activity between consenting adults. These are all part of a larger constitutional right to privacy that the court has been guarding since the mid-1960s. And so I think there are those who believe that all of those are potentially vulnerable. The court, in its majority opinion by Justice Alito, went out of its way to say, oh, this is just about abortion, that isn't about those other issues. That, in some ways, I fear, makes the opinion look a bit unprincipled. It looks as though the court was just going after one specific issue without thinking about the larger consequences for other issues. But constitutional rights are always embedded in larger doctrines that have more general principles, such as personal autonomy and privacy. And so, again, I believe that there will be those who feel empowered to at least try to make an issue of rolling back same-sex marriage or access to contraceptives.
Before we let you go, I do want to ask about this. Looking ahead to the midterms, what could this mean for both political parties?
The conventional wisdom is that Democrats will be energized by this, that the anger that women and progressives feel will be channeled into a greater energy to be devoted to the elections. We'll see if that happens. Democrats have a mixed track record of success on being able to stay focused and generate energy in their base for those kinds of political priorities. I think for Republicans, this may be a situation of be careful what you ask for. There's evidence that President Trump has been relatively quiet about this decision. So there again, I think there's a conventional wisdom that's probably accurate, that Republicans may end up having to try to change the subject, that enough people will be upset by this decision because it went against what most Americans say they want, that Republicans will not necessarily tout it as an achievement, but rather something, they'll treat it as something, as a subject that needs to be changed.
Professor Steve Sanders from IU, a very complicated subject, and we really appreciate you taking the time to join us this morning.
Happy to do it.
If you want more information on the special session and the overturn of Roe v. Wade, just head to fox59.com.